SAP Convergent Invoicing exists to solve a problem of volume. Its baseline function is ingesting millions of raw consumption items, data points from network usage or subscriptions, and processing them into finalized financial documents. In enterprise environments, these mass processing runs execute entirely in the background. They are designed to operate from start to finish without human intervention. A central architectural challenge arises when we look closely at the incoming data. A single billing engine has to concurrently process information for distinct types of customers. If you hard-code a single set of processing rules into a batch run, the system will output identical document structures. For a growing company with both private consumers and large commercial accounts, a rigid, singular output fails to meet diverse business requirements. Consider the case of Telkom One, a telecommunications provider managing a highly mixed customer base. Their commercial accounts require specialized billing. They need highly aggregated data summaries, items grouped into lists by department, and application of complex payment terms. Their private accounts require entirely different formatting. These customers need simple, chronological itemizations printed on standard consumer templates. Yet the final documents for both the private and commercial accounts emerge from the exact same automated billing run. How does a blind batch processor know to apply distinct formatting, grouping, and printing rules to different datasets on the fly? The system achieves this by utilizing an active runtime parameter called the invoicing category. This shifts the control logic out of the processing engine itself and anchors it directly in the master data. To understand how this works, we have to look away from dynamic billing transactions and examine the static foundation of SAP financials, the master data. This master data diagram outlines the exact storage locations for different parameters. If you look closely at the contract account level hemisphere, you will find the invoicing category node. System architects define these categories in customizing. For Telkom One, they map category 0001 to private accounts and 0002 to commercial accounts. By embedding this specific key in the contract account record, every billable item generated for that customer permanently inherits the classification. Assigning this logic directly to the master data transforms a static customer record into an active set of routing instructions for every downstream processor. We can trace these instructions forward to the first step of mass processing, the billing process. This flow diagram details the core steps of billing: data selection, the creation of billing units through grouping variants, and finally, aggregation. The invoicing category acts as an extended control mechanism, specifically at the grouping variance gate. As the processor ingests the inherited data, it evaluates the category value, checking if it is 0001 or 0002, and automatically assigns a different grouping variant based on that specific input. For Telkom One, the commercial items tagged 0002 are dynamically grouped by department, while the private items tagged 0001 bypass this rule entirely. The invoicing category allows architects to design systems that alter billing structures simultaneously for millions of records, without having to write custom ABAP code for each variation. The logic continues into the final, highly complex stage of execution, the invoicing process. Final invoice generation requires a 3-tier matrix. The first tier specifies the invoicing process, targeting specific source documents. The second tier automatically proposes an invoicing type. The third tier injects the unique invoicing category for the customer's account. The precise intersection of the invoicing type and the invoicing category creates a unique key. This key triggers optional invoicing functions. These are targeted actions executed for that specific intersection, like generating alternative printouts, clearing payment cards, or applying complex discounting rules. This multi-level matrix is the exact mechanism that allowed Telkom One to generate 2 completely distinct invoice formats out of a single automated batch run. If we step back from the individual configuration nodes, we view the entire consume-to-cash pipeline. This pipeline diagram traces the life of a data packet, from its origin as network data, moving through rating and charging, to billing and invoicing, and finally resolving in contract accounting. While data moves progressively forward through these stages, the contract accounting block exerts a reverse influence over the convergent invoicing processes. In SAP BRIM, data execution is not strictly linear. The downstream master data continuously dictates the behavior of the upstream processing engines. The invoicing category serves as the bridge connecting static customer profiles with highly dynamic transaction engines. Moving the control parameters out of the core processing batch and placing them into the individual contract accounts builds elasticity directly into the system architecture. By utilizing these categories, architects ensure that as an enterprise scales its diverse customer base, its automated pipelines scale intelligently right alongside it.